quite a light-hearted event, but I thought it'd be wrong for me to stand up front for room people and not use the opportunity to talk about something that's actually quite important, and to talk about a disease that I've suffered with over the last couple of years, and that I really want you to help me solve, because it is actually a global crisis. If we can move on. There's over 200,000 people affected worldwide. It's present in over 100 countries, and perhaps most worryingly for us here, it's actually on the increase in the UK. This disease affects you in all kinds of ways. It changes someone's life completely. After contracting this disease, they will literally never be the same again. And that disease is JCItis. It affects you in ways that you can't imagine. It will affect your mind, it will affect your body, and I know that a number of us in this room have already contracted this disease. What I want to do today is to take you through a few stages of the symptoms that you'll become, some of the symptoms that you'll have noticed in the people around you, and hopefully end on a slightly uplifting note as to what we can do to rid the UK of this disease. So stage one is the mind. You find that in your mind you're desperately trying to say no to stuff, but you find yourself actually saying yes. You find yourself saying, yeah, I'll compete in a debating competition. I'll sleep rough outside Sheffield Cathedral for the night. I'll live on beans on toast for the week to raise money for Save the Children. You might even find yourself going slightly crazy territory and say you'll go vegan for a month, just because somebody asked you if you would. One of the weird quirks of this disease, though, is when it starts to get into your mind, it starts to affect your fashion sense. You start to see people wearing stuff like this. Dressed as pirates, looking a little bit like a Union Jack's thrown up over you. I can't even begin to imagine what kind of suffering someone has to go through to decide that you would go out in public in this mankini. But he has been suffering for some time. You might even find yourself popping out for Christmas dinner and not one but two sufferers sporting jumpers like these, and you think it's a good idea. When you start to have this JCI attitude, when you start just randomly saying yes to stuff, it's affected your mind, it's affected your style, it does also start to affect your body. You find that some of the things that that you say yes to might include running the Edinburgh Marathon. You might find that when someone says, let's get up at 6 o'clock and do a boot camp, you get up at 6 o'clock and do a boot camp. You will see sufferers of JCItis doing the National Three Peaks Challenge, trekking across the Sahara. It really does start to take up an enormous amount of time and energy. But as if that wasn't bad enough, you've lost your free will, you've lost your fashion sense, you started dragging your body out of bed at ridiculous o'clock in the morning. For some people, it also affects the heart. Now, some people, they've crossed the room to fall in love with another sufferer. Some people have crossed the Pennines. These particularly affected sufferers actually found each other in Japan and have crossed continents because JCItis has affected their heart so much. And in this particular extreme case of two sufferers, it's even crossed their sexuality. Diseases do not get worse than this. They really don't. And as you might imagine, when something like this starts to take hold in the UK and you start to see sufferers affected in this horrific way by JCItis, it is noticed at very high levels. But I have to tell you, no one is safe. You can see here Her Majesty the Queen being infected by a long-time sufferer of JCItis. But that's UK-wide. What have we got to worry about on our doorstep? Well, actually quite a lot. JCItis is pretty bad right here in Yorkshire, and it looks like it's going to get worse. JCItis in Yorkshire, already pretty bad. Suggested figures for 2014 are an estimated growth of 20. And they are minimum expected figures. The higher figures could be so much worse, and that doesn't take into account the impact it's going to have on people who've already been infected with the disease. And just this week, Harrogate, which had been clear of the disease for years, saw a new outbreak of JCI. We really do need to be concerned. And right here in Barnsley, they've taken the disease to a whole new level. Oh, sorry, I'm giving away all my slides here. In Barnsley. What can I say? The European Commission of JCI singled out Barnsley last year as the worst increase in the disease in the entire Europe. And they did not only take into account the number of new sufferers, but they looked at the impact it had on sufferers, and here in Barnsley they have got it bad. They really have. And it's a little bit more worrying than that, because actually one of the chief carriers of JCI in Barnsley has actually infected Rotherham. And as if we needed any more proof that disease has just spread that little bit faster in Rotherham, 5 confirmed cases already in JCI Rotherham this year, another 2 suspected, and I'm sure we're going to see double figures pretty soon. So what can we do about it? We've got this disease, it's affecting everyone, it's right here on our doorstep. The answer is actually pretty simple. All we have to do is to start saying no. So I want you to start saying no. I want you to say no to letting your personality shine. I want you to say no to facing the challenges in your community. Say no to the opportunities to letting your business grow. Particularly say no to connecting with other sufferers. And right here in Barnsley, if they haven't got you on these 4, say no at any attempt to make you laugh. So I just want to finish with that final message that please, let us fight this disease, let it stop impacting everyone in the country, and let's all together just say no. Thank you.